Hello everyone, welcome to this section on VLSI design. Myself Dr. Sharmila, Assistant Professor, Department of PCE, Krishna Engineering College. In today's VLSI design lecture series, we are going to see about the RC delay estimation. So the topic which I am going to cover in this sections are introduction, RC delay model, equivalent RC circuit and examples. So before we go into the today's section, I want to give some introductions about the delay which I have covered in the task lecture. So what is the meaning of propagation delay? So the propagation delay is defined as the input, the time taken by the input propagated to the output. That is nothing but the propagation delay. So generally the delay is measured by means of a different method. So in the unit 2, you are going to see a different method to measure the delays. So in this today class, we are going to see about RC delay model. So this RC delay model is generally developed to estimate the delay of the logic gates. So here, we know about CMOS transistor. In the CMOS transistor, it is a combination of the PMOS and NMOS circuit. Okay, so here we are going to treat the transistor as a switch, along with we are going to consider the resistance in series. Already I told you in the first lecture in the unit 2. So generally the delay is measured with the help of the resistance and capacitance. So the delay can be defined as del is equal to, that is tau is equal to R into C. So here we are not going to measure the delay with the help of capacitance, that is with the help of voltage and current. Here we are going to measure the delay with the help of the resistance and capacitance. So the tau is nothing but a delay. So delay can be given by tau is equal to R into C. So in a CMOS circuit, here I am going to consider each and every transistor is going to act as a switch. You know that the CMOS transistor is generally act as a switch only. So here the each and every transistor is act as a switch, along with I am going to consider the resistance connected with series. Okay. So generally here you are considering the NMOS transistor. Okay. So if it is of unique sized NMOS transistor, okay, its channel length is, that is aspect ratio is given by 4/2 lambda. So what is the meaning of 4 is, the 4 is the length, the 2 is nothing but the diffusion width. Okay, so that in order to calculate the resistance value, here we are considering the minimum channel length as well as the width. So the minimum length as well as the minimum length as well as the width of the NMOS transistor is given by the 4/2 lambda. In the unit 1, I have covered the layout diagram. The layout diagram already I have explained you the minimum length of the channels. Okay, minimum length of the channel is given by 2 lambda. If it is of P type or N type material, we are considering a 2 lambda as the minimum width. Okay. So for the unit sized NMOS transistor, here I am considering the 4/2 lambda. So here the 4 is nothing but the length and 2 is nothing but the diffusion width. So generally the resistance value is inversely proportional to the width and the capacitance value is directly proportional to the width. Okay. So here this is very important one. The resistance value is inversely proportional to the width. The capacitance value is directly proportional to the width. Okay. So here, so the resistance the resistance is inversely proportional to the width. So for example, if it is of 8/2 NMOS transistor, here you consider the aspect ratio is of 8/2. For the NMOS transistor, it has the resistance value of R/2. So I will explain you how I am writing it 8/2. If the aspect ratio is 8/2, how we are writing resistance value is R/2. I will explain with the help of one example. Okay. So this is the aspect ratio. Already I told you that aspect ratio is nothing but L/W. L/W is nothing but length and width of the transistor. Okay. For example, if it is of NMOS transistor, here I am considering the unit sized. Unit sized means nothing but the minimum length of the NMOS transistor is 4/2 lambda. Okay, that is length is 4, width is 2. Okay. So here for the NMOS transistor, how I am calculating its value is equal to R is, so already in the last lecture, I have explained you the resistance formula. The resistance is equal to R is equal to Z into RS. Generally, R is equal to L by W into RS. L by W is nothing but the length and width of the channel. So main important thing is whatever the resistance and capacitance we are considering here, that is of the parasitic capacitance as well as the resistance. That is, I am not going to consider any external resistance. I am going to consider the internal resistance of the transistor for both NMOS and PMOS transistor. Okay. So the resistance is given by R is equal to Z into RS. What is the meaning of Z? Z is nothing but a aspect ratio. Aspect ratio is nothing but it is a ratio of length by width. Okay. So last class I have explained you about the what is the meaning of sheet resistance and all. Okay. So sheet resistance value is not a constant one. It will vary, depends upon the technology which we are using. For example, here I am considering the aspect ratio of 8 by 2. So if it is of 8 by 2 means I am going to calculate. For the example, the aspect ratio is 8 by 2 lambda. For that I am going to calculate the resistance value. So the 8 by 2 can be written as this 8, numerator 8 can be written as in the factor of 4. So I can write it as 2 into 4. Okay. Already I told you that the 4 by 2 is nothing but a unique size. That is the minimum size of the transistor. Okay. So I can write R is equal to 2 into 4 by 2. So the 4 by 2 is nothing but the minimum size of the transistor. So here I am having a 2. Okay. I am going to find the value of the resistance. Just to cross multiply it. So you will get resistance is equal to R by 2 into that is R by 2 aspect ratio. Okay. So for this, here I am getting the value of R by 2 for NMOS transistor. For example, if it is of 16, if it is of 4 by 4, okay. If it is of 4 by 2, already I told you the 4 by 2 is the minimum size, that is a unique sized transistor. Okay. So for that I can write the resistance value R because the factor of 4 is nothing but 1 into 4. Okay, 1 into 4 means I will get the resistance value R. If it is of 8 by 2, I can write it as 2 into, what is a unique size transistor? That is nothing but your 4 by 2. So I can write the resistance is equal to, that is R formula, you know that the resistance is equal to 2 into 4 by 2. So this 2 will go this side. So you will get the resistance value of R by 2. Similarly, here we are going to calculate it further. 4 by 4. If it is of 4 by 4, you know that unit sized transistor is of 4 by 2. Okay. Here I am having a 4 by 4. So I can factor it as 1 into 4 divided by 1 by 2. That means you just multiply 1 by 2 into 4 by 2. What you will get? 4 by 4. Okay. So you just cross multiply this 2 over here in this left hand side. You know that R is equal to aspect ratio into RS. My aspect ratio is for the unit size is 4 by 2. The remaining value is 1 by 2. Just to cross multiply it, you will get the resistance value of 2R. So simply you can remember, if it is of NMOS resistance, its formula is given by R by 2. Sorry, R by K. K is nothing but the factor of a unit sized transistor. Similarly, if it is of PMOS resistance, PMOS transistor, its resistance value is given by 2 into R by K. Okay, for example, if it is of 4 by 2, what is the resistance value is? Here the resistance value is given by 2R. Just I am going to multiply this value. So 2R. If it is of 8 by 2 means, you know the factor, that is 2 into, you know the factor, that is 2 into 4 by 2. Okay, 2 into 4 by 2 means, you know that 2 into 4 by 2 is equal to 2R. If it is of PMOS transistor, you have to consider 2R. If it is of NMOS transistor, you have to consider R is equal to 2 into 4 by 2. Similarly, if it is of 4 by 4 means what will happen? Here you will get 1 by 2. That is 2R is equal to, here you will get 2R is equal to 1 by 2 into unit sized transistor. That is nothing but 4 by 2. Just to, okay. So here you will get the value of R. That is actually here you will get the value of R over here. Okay. So the main important thing is, For the PMOS transistor, why we are considering 2R? For NMOS transistor, why we are considering R? That is very important thing, because you know that the NMOS transistor, the majority carrier is an electron. In the PMOS transistor, the majority carrier is an hole. You know that in electronics, you have studied that the mobility of hole is less than the mobility of an electron. Okay. So that means what? The mobility of hole is less than the mobility of electron means, okay, so the resistance value will get increased in the PMOS transistor. So for the NMOS transistor, the mobility of electron is very high, means the resistance value is less as compared to the PMOS transistor. Okay. So for the NMOS transistor, the resistivity value is very less. For the PMOS transistor, the resistance value is very high. That's why here we are considering for NMOS transistor, it is of R by K. For the PMOS transistor, we are considering 2R by K. Okay. So in this way only we are calculating the resistance value. Already I told you whatever the resistance and capacitance we are considering here, it is not an external capacitance or external resistance. We are considering a parasitic capacitance. So last class I explained you that different types of parasitic capacitance in the different types of capacitance in the CMOS transistor. Okay. Similarly, here there are also the resistivity produced by the MOS transistor. Okay. So now we will see the equivalent RC circuit. Okay. Here I am considering the NMOS transistor. As I told you earlier, in the RC delay model, I am going to consider the capacitance. That is, this transistor is going to act as a switch, and I am going to connect one resistance value. Already I told you that for the NMOS transistor, the resistance value is given by R by K. Similarly, I am going to consider the capacitance value also. Last class I have explained you, if it is of NMOS transistor or if it is of PMOS transistor, the capacitance is nothing but there is a capacitance produced between the gate and source. Similarly, there is a capacitance produced between the source and body of the transistor, or else we can connect it to the ground. Similarly, there is a capacitance is formed between the drain and the body. Okay. So there are three capacitance we are generally going to consider near to the gate, source as well as the drain. So the resistance is connected in series with the transistor. So the transistor is act as a switch. Okay. So similarly for the PMOS transistor also, here I am going to consider transistor as a switch. Okay, here I just put one switch over here. I am going to connect one series resistance. You know that for a PMOS transistor, the resistance value is of 2R by K. Okay, and similarly you have to consider the capacitance value Kc here. Okay, so this is the thing. So here I have explained for the unit NMOS transistor, the resistance will be R by K. Unit NMOS transistor means what? The aspect ratio is given by 4 by 2. Okay. So that is 4 by 2 means what? It is a minimum size of the length and width of the transistor. Okay. It is a default value we will consider. Okay. So the resistance will be R by K for NMOS transistor. The diffusion capacitance is given by Kc. Similarly, for the PMOS transistor, the resistance value is of 2R by K and the capacitance is of Kc. Okay. So this is very important one. So already I told you what is the formula for the delay. Delay can be written as tau is equal to R into C. This is very important one. The delay is based on the delay is directly proportional to the value of resistance into capacitance. So here this tau is also called as the intrinsic delay of an NMOS transistor. Okay. So what is the meaning of propagation delay? Already I told you that the time taken by the input propagate to the output. That is nothing but the propagation delay. So the propagation delay, what is the use of RC delay model? In the RC delay model, we are going to estimate the propagation delay. So the propagation delay of the logic gates can be estimated from the RC model. We are considering the resistance and capacitance inside the MOS transistor. That is inside the NMOS and PMOS transistor, we never consider the external resistance and capacitance value. So the propagation delay, already I explained you, the propagation delay is defined as the time from when the input reaches Vd by 2 until output crosses Vd by 2. Last class I have explained you about your fall time, rise time, propagation delay, and propagation delay. So propagation delay is nothing but already I told you, already I explained with the help of diagram in last class. For example, this is my input value. So here my input is propagating from, that is the input is from 1 to 0. Okay, if it is of 1 to 0 means, you know that we are generally considering a CMOS transistor. So the output is of your 1 means here you will get 0, 0 means you will get 1. So the propagation delay is technically defined as the time from when the input reaches, when the input crosses the 50, when the input crosses the 50 and output crosses the 50 percentage. Okay, this time gap is called as the propagation delay. That is, the input crosses the 50 when the input crosses the 50 percentage reaches the VDD by 2. VDD by 2 is nothing but a 50 percentage of the input value, and until that output crosses the 50%. This time gap is between these two time period is called as the propagation delay. Okay, that is a time between the input crosses the 50 percentage of the input voltage to until the output crosses the 50 percentage. Okay, so it is defined as that is the propagation delay is defined to be the time from when the input reaches the VDD by 2, that is 50 percentage, from the time to until the output crosses the VDD by 2, that is output crosses the 50%. Okay, so gate width and fan out of inverter is derived as the load equal to the F time. That is, for example, here I am considering a CMOS transistor. In the CMOS transistor, I am going to consider the load capacitance. Okay, so this is my NMOS transistor. This is the PMOS transistor. Here I am going to take the output. Okay, so here I am going to find the load capacitance value. So the load capacitance value can be measured by, okay, the load capacitance can be measured by, okay. So how I am going to measure the load capacitance is a gate with fan out inverter derives a load equal to 5 times of the input capacitance. So here it is my load capacitance means the load, that what is the meaning of load capacitance means what? So the load capacitance is going to derive the more number of K. For you know already what is the meaning of fan out? So the fan out of inverter is nothing but the single device is going to derive the more number of the inverters. Okay, more number of the gates. Okay, so that is nothing but your fan out. So the load capacitance value is how we are going to obtain the load capacitance value is we are going to multiply input capacitance value with. Okay, so you know that what is the input capacitance value? I will explain you the input capacitance. So we are going to multiply the input capacitance value with F. What is the meaning of F? F is nothing but we can write it as F or H. F is nothing but your fan out. The fan out is nothing but number of gate you are going to derive from the single CMOS inverter. For example, here I am considering a single CMOS inverter. In this inverter, I am going to apply some input over here. So you have to calculate the input capacitance value. Okay, I already told you we are going to consider the 3 capacitance value. That is capacitance in the gate terminal, capacitance in the drain as well as in the source terminal. In order to calculate the load capacitance value, what actually we are going to do? We are going to multiply the fan out. That is nothing but F into total input capacitance value. Okay. For example, if it is of here I am considering its value is Kc. Okay. So the input to the input capacitance for the PMOS transistor is of 2C. 2NC. Here I am considering it is of 2NC. Okay. Here I am considering the NC value means I am going to add the total input capacitance value that is given in the gate terminal. That is 2NC plus NC. I am getting here the total input capacitance of the inverter is NC plus 2NC. Okay. Here I am just going to add NC plus 2NC means I will get 3NC. Okay. So then I am going to find this value. This value is nothing but I am going to multiply my input capacitance value into F. That is F is nothing but number of gate you are going to derive from the single inverter gate. Okay. So I will explain with the help of an example, then you can understand it easily. So the fan with a gate with fan out inverter derives a load equal to F times of the input capacitance. So in the output terminal, where we are going to take the output terminal, the output terminal is taken um, from the drain, okay, drain of PMOS and NMOS transistor. So here I am going to multiply that, how I am going to find that capacitance value in the output, that is a load capacitance values. I am going to multiply input capacitance values into the number of gate, that is number of device you are going to drive from the inverter. Okay, so that is the in this way only we are finding the load capacitance value. Okay, so here you just consider this example. In this, we are going to find the fan out inverter and equivalent rise and fall circuit we are going to find. So here you are considering the inverter. Okay, for this inverter they given the value 4n by 2, 8n by 2. Okay, so here 8n by 2, 4n by 2 is nothing but your aspect ratio. From this aspect ratio, you have to find the value of resistance as well as the capacitance value. So you know that the capacitance is nothing but it is of Kc. Okay. Similarly, the resistance value for PMOS and NMOS transistor we have to find. For example, here you consider the NMOS transistor. For the NMOS transistor, 4n by 2. You know that unit sized transistor ka value kya hai? Aspect ratio. What is the aspect ratio? That is the 4 by 2. Okay. So here the value is here it is of 4 by 2 means you are going to consider the value it is 1. Okay. So capacitance value, what is the value of K? The value of K is 1. So here you will get the NC. Okay. So here you have to find the capacitance value for the PMOS transistor. The PMOS transistor is 8n by 2. 8n by 2 means what? You know that unit sized transistor is of 4 by 2. So 8, you have to factor the 8, that is 2 into 4 is nothing but you will get 8. Okay. So the capacitance value is what? The capacitance value is nothing but 2 NC for the PMOS transistor. For NMOS transistor, the capacitance value is NC. Why it is NC? Because it is a unit sized transistor, that is minimum size transistor, that is 4 by 2. So here you are going to multiply with 1, you will get the value of NC, that is the capacitance value is NC. For PMOS transistor, it is factor into 2 into 4 by 2. So the capacitance value is 2 NC value. Okay. So first what you have to do, whatever the given aspect ratio, for according to the aspect ratio, you have to find the input capacitance of the transistor. Okay, for the PMOS and NMOS transistor. Okay, so this is the given CMOS inverter. For the CMOS inverter, they have given the 4n by 2 and 8n by 2. Okay, now we are going to find the fan out of the inverter. Fan out means what? You are going to find the output load. Okay, so for that, first you have to draw the diagrams. Okay, you have to draw the equivalent RC model. Equivalent RC model means what? Already I told you that. So here for this transistor is act as a switch. Here you have to connect one resistance. Okay, here you have to connect one resistance. Then in the gate terminal, source terminal and drain terminal, you have to draw the capacitance. Okay, already I told you that for PMOS transistor, the capacitance is 2NC. For NMOS transistor, the capacitance is NC. Okay, so similarly for drain terminal also you have to draw, that is 2NC. Source terminal also you have to draw the another capacitance. That is, I am going to draw one capacitance over here. This is for the NMOS transistor, that is NC. Similarly, you have to draw it for the PMOS transistor also. For the gate terminal 2NC, for the source terminal you have to draw the 2NC. Okay. So now what actually we are going to do? We are going to calculate the corresponding fan out value. This is the load capacitance. Here I am going to take the output. Okay, in the output I am going to draw the one capacitance, that is a load capacitance value you have to find. Already I told you how we are going to find the load capacitance value. The load capacitance is nothing but we are going to multiply F. F is nothing but the fan out. Okay, that is a fan out into just multiply. That is F times of input capacitance. What is the input capacitance? Where we are applying input capacitance in the CMOS circuit is in the gate terminal. You have to add these two values. Okay, 2NC plus NC means you will get 3NC. So that is 3NC into F. That is the load capacitance value is F times of 3NC. Don't confuse that what is the use of, how 3NC comes. So the 3NC is nothing but you have to add the capacitance in the PMOS and NMOS. You have to add only the input capacitance. Okay, that is nothing but gate capacitance value. That is 2NC for PMOS transistor, NC for NMOS transistor. Just to add these two, you will get 3NC. Okay. So here you got it. Then we are going to draw the equivalent rise and fall circuit. Already you know that the PMOS transistor is called as the pull up and NMOS transistor is called as the pull down. So here I am going to consider this PMOS as the rising circuit, NMOS as the falling circuit. Okay. So if it is of NMOS, that is if it is of rising circuit, we are going to consider the PMOS. That is just to draw one demarcation line in order to avoid the confusion. Just to put the load capacitance, because the load capacitance is taken from the output of both NMOS and PMOS. Just to put the load capacitance value, that is 3NFC, and then draw the NMOS. This is our NMOS PMOS transistor. So no need to draw the transistor and all, just to draw the resistance of the PMOS transistor. Draw the capacitance value, that is 2NC. Here no need to mention the input capacitance value because we are considering a load values, right? Okay, then here you draw the drain capacitance, that is NC. Similarly, you have to draw the falling circuit. So falling circuit is drawn the falling circuit is nothing but you have to consider the NMOS. For the NMOS, draw the capacitance value and corresponding NC and 3NFC values. Okay. So in this way only we are going to draw the fan out inverter and equivalent rise and fall circuit. It is very simple thing only. Here I have given one example, that is here 3 input NAND gate. So first you have to draw the 3 input NAND gate with the transistors width chosen to achieve the, you have to find the transistor, you have to draw the equivalent circuit, that is RC equivalent circuit first, and you have to draw the corresponding effective rise and fall resistance which is equal to the unit inverter, and annotate the 3 input NAND gate with gate and diffusion capacitance. That is, in your diagram you have to mention the gate capacitance, diffusion capacitance as well as the resistance value. Okay. So in this diagram they have given the PMOS and NMOS, they have given the PMOS and NMOS aspect ratio. So here it is of 2, here it is of 3. Not an aspect ratio, it is a value of K. Okay. So it is a solution for 3 input NAND gate. You know that how to draw the CMOS logic for the 3 input NAND gate. You know that if it is of NAND gate, the NMOS transistors are connected in series, PMOS are connected in parallel. So PMOS is connected to VDD and NMOS is connected to ground. Okay. So this is the logic diagram, CMOS logic diagram for 3 input NAND gate. So now you have to draw the RC delay model. Already I told you in RC delay model what actually you have to draw. You have to mention all the capacitance like gate capacitance, source capacitance as well as the drain capacitance for each and every gate. Okay. So 3 gates are there means for the each and if it is of 3 PMOS transistor means for each and every gate you are going to draw the capacitance value. Similarly for NMOS also you have to draw the capacitance. So already directly they have given the aspect ratio, that is 2. Here it is of 3. Not an aspect ratio, it is the value of K. So here they given the 2 means you are going to, here you are going to, first you have to draw the capacitance value for each and every transistor. So here these 3 capacitance mentions, these 3 capacitance indicate the gate capacitance. Okay, these 3 capacitance are gate capacitance. Similarly, for the NMOS, the gate capacitance is 3C, 3C, 3C. Similarly, you have to draw it for source as well as in the drain terminal. Okay. So for the PMOS also you have to draw the source and drain terminal. So okay, that is for the PMOS, its capacitance value is of 2C, for NMOS capacitance value is of 3C. So here what actually I am going to do, I am going to find the diffusion capacitance. So the diffusion capacitance are in the drain terminal. Okay, you just add all the diffusion capacitance value that is connected in the parallel. Okay, in the PMOS transistor, these transistors are connected in parallel, capacitance are connected in parallel, just add the value. So you will get 2C, 2C plus, that is 2C, 2C, 2C means you will get 6C, plus you are going to add this 3C also. That is that this 3C is of the NMOS transistor. So totally you will get diffusion capacitance is of 9C. Instead of mentioning everything, you can mention the diffusion capacitance. So diffusion capacitance is of totally 9C. Okay. Then we are going to calculate the input capacitance value. Already I told you that input capacitance is nothing but you have to add the capacitance, input capacitance value of PMOS and NMOS. No need to add all the, that is if you are having a 3 input NAND gate means no need to add all the 3, just to add one values. Okay. So input capacitance value is nothing but for gate PMOS transistor it is of 2, for NMOS transistor it is of 3. So the 2C plus 3C you will get 5C. Okay. So 2C plus 3C you will get 5C. So just to short PMOS and NMOS transistor and draw the capacitance value, that is 5C, 5C, 5C. So 5C is nothing but your input capacitance. So diffusion capacitance, just to add all the values, you will get the diffusion capacitance here. Okay. So if you want, you can mention the resistance value of PMOS as well as NMOS. Okay. So this is an example. In this way only we are going to draw the circuits. Okay. RC delay model. So thank you. In next lecture we will see about the other method to estimate the delay.